an era of the tape play, hidden on the track well, on a Accihelp, with the spitting the beginning of a rap tale. Elastic scoop from Luke shine vividly. In due time, produce rhyme synergy. And for the longest, caught the blinking of the torment. Till England of performance, still thinking of us dormant. And so it be, who hold close and kept dear, were left there, won't know folks by next year. For ties cut, invest shares, perplex peers, rise up, reflect fear, for hex sneers, for rest cheer. Know we did it for a purpose. Poem of a kid who never did scratch surface. Until we own it, respect the craft for proponents, cause it ain't over till the soul.
Remember what? You would hear a song you like, and you felt like it was about your life. Remember when you would write a letter to your girlfriend, and she would read it to all of her girlfriends. Remember staying up all night, talking on the phone. Remember skipping class with your homeboys. Remember G.I. Joe.
I used to play Mortal Kombat with Matthew. I swore he used to cheat. I swear I could never beat him. Those sour jawbreakers, I swear I could never eat him. Baddest chick in the school, I swear I could never meet her. Until I wrote her a letter telling her I'm a singer. Me and Terrence would draw pictures of sneakers. Me and Ashley used to be in the class singing. I wrote my first rap in the back of the class thinking, I'm feeling it, yeah. Feel alive, did you get feeling alive? If you feel it, raise your L in the sky. I remember selling my mixtape in high school. They was really kind of supportive at my school. I was selling cassette tapes for $5. I was making my own beats. I was beatboxing.
Brown, brown sugar, that brown, brown, hey. 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 Brown, brown sugar, that brown, brown, hey.
The lines. There are organizations like Feeding South Florida who could really use a helping hand. In Opelika on Tuesday, these long lines of vehicles were awaiting much needed free food. Let's get more from NBC6's Kristen Sanchez, who's live in Pembroke Park, with some of the ways that you can help in these times. Hi, Kristen.
Hey there, Shelley. You know, Feeding South Florida says what they really need are funds, and those funds to the COVID-19 Response Fund. And it's to fill bags just like this. So this is called the Family Meal Kit, and it's exactly what volunteers are loading up into the vehicles as they pass by one, filled with a bunch of food to feed the entire family.
Right now, the biggest demand for us is funds, so we can go out and get the food and get it onto the tables of families.
Feeding South Florida feeds families in Miami-Dade, Broward, and even Palm Beach counties, distributing food Monday through Saturday. The organization has put a hold on food drives and is focusing on getting their food from retail stores and growers as a precaution.
It's truly humbling that folks know what's going on out there, and that they're putting their health at risk.
Lately, the organization has run into an issue. They actually have plenty of volunteers, in fact, even sometimes turning away some and limiting volunteers to work in smaller groups in 3 short shifts to limit human interaction.
This demand there's nothing to compare it to. If you combine a hurricane with the government shutdown and then expand that to the entire community, that's what this demand looks like.
So since volunteering in person is limited, the best way to help out is to donate to the Feeding South Florida COVID-19 Response Fund. So when I was talking to the CEO, the president here, they told me that honestly, the hardest items to get are actually these non-perishable items because they're just going really quickly in the retail stores. But surprisingly enough, since they have their own growers, they have plenty of fresh produce. Live in Pembroke Park, I'm Kristen Sanchez for NBC6 News.
on. So let me do that all over again because I didn't have my microphone on, but now I'm talking to you live. What an idiot. But next week, let me just tell you, we're going to have some different things going on that's going to make up for these technical mistakes and having to click all these buttons while I'm trying to talk and everything else. It's just kind of nuts. But we are going to reach a goal that we didn't think we were going to reach. We're going to reach it pretty early as well. We're probably going to hit 50,000 meals without any real problem. I want you guys, if you just saw that stuff by the television station that did that feature on feeding South Florida, they don't need canned food. We're not looking at anyone to pick up groceries in a box and take them to some drop-off location. That's nice. That definitely could help, but they don't need that. What they need is money. They're legit. They're part of a national organization, and they are feeding people. There are a ton of people here in South Florida who need food. I want you to close your eyes. Everyone, just close your eyes for a second. It's 7:30 here on Friday, Good Friday, 7:30 p.m. If you haven't had dinner yet, I want you to just think for a second. What would happen if you didn't know where dinner was coming from? What would happen if your children, if the kids you love, looked up to you and said, "Hey, Dad, what's for dinner tonight?" And you didn't have an answer. Can you empathize with that situation? Can you understand why we're talking about this so much? Can you see why I'm so passionate about feeding people? I've worked in media advertising for 25 plus years with Disney, Universal, some of the biggest corporations in the world. I learned how to generate revenue, but I also learned how to take care of people. And there's a time to push for revenue. There's a time to get some sales. There's a time to go out there and make as much money as you possibly can. But there's also a time when the people that are around you in your neighborhood, down the street from you, in your church, need help. And this is one of these times. This flipping coronavirus has done more damage outside of the hospital than it has done in the hospital. There are people literally not knowing where their next meal is coming from. And I don't know if you've ever been in that situation. I remember in college one time when I was whiny and a whiny football player, and I'm like, you know what? I'm hungry and the kitchen's closed. What am I supposed to do to eat? And my roommate looked at me and goes, "You weigh 330 pounds. You bench press 500 pounds, and you sound like a baby." And I was like, "Wow, yeah, but I'm hungry. What do I do?" Well, luckily, I'm not in that position now, and I'm not looking down at children, and I'm not looking at my wife going, "I don't know where we're going to eat. I don't know what we're going to have for dinner tonight. I don't know what we're going to have for breakfast tomorrow." And I don't want to go ahead and do a strong arm robbery or anything, although we're all going to be wearing masks. Can you imagine that? Everyone wearing masks, walking around, you're not knowing who you're talking to. That's going to be kind of scary, but I digress. So let me tell you what happened. Got a couple big announcements. So as you know, basically we've been doing some food drive stuff, virtual food drive in terms of, raising money for Feeding America. And if you don't know, you can just look on our Facebook page and you're going to see a page here that allows you, there's some little information, and then you can just click here to donate. It's simply that easy to donate. And so this is our fourth day. We started Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it's our fourth day of doing this. And in that 4-day period, as you can see, we've raised $2,210. Now let me explain something to you. With Feeding America, the ability that they have and through the network that they're working with, they're able to enlarge your donations and basically amplify what you can put together. So in that regards, a $10 donation adds up to 100 meals. A $1 donation, and don't tell me you don't have a buck, a $1 donation is 10 meals. So in the last 3 days, we've been able to generate, I don't know if you can see it, $2,200. That's not a lot of money, but it means that we're giving 22,000 meals to people in South Florida. Think about that for a second. 22,000 meals in South Florida are going to be fed to people in need because of some very big help. So let's go ahead and take a look at some, how that help came through. And, we were very lucky, but there's a company called iRise Spine and Joint in Boca Raton, and they handle a lot of the medical aspects of people who get in car accidents. One of the referral sources, and probably the main referral source we have to help people who get in car accidents. And they gave 15,000 meals today. 15,000. Think about that. 15,000 meals. I'm blown away that we were able to get 15,000 meals to actually jumpstart this thing, and now it's going to snowball. Now it's going to roll. We're on a roll now, because now I'm going to start calling out companies and saying, hey, listen, go ahead and match this. Give me $1,000. Give me $500. But understand, you're not giving it to me. You're not giving me a dime. I just want you to understand how this whole thing works. You click this button here on the site to do a donation. When you click that button, up pops a window, and everything here is legit. It goes directly through Facebook to Feeding America. And then once you're complete with your donation, you're going to get a quick email receipt that comes from Feeding America /Facebook, because they're the ones who are doing all the fiduciary responsibilities here. They're collecting the money, and you're going to get their tax ID, so you can go ahead and deduct the charitable donation from your taxes in July. No filing in April, July. And it's that simple. It's seamless. It's frictionless. All you've got to do is click the button to donate. And when you donate, you're going to help people here in Florida who need food. And big props right now. Big props. Kudos to Feeding America. And big props to our biggest benefactor or sponsor thus far, iRise Spine and Joint, who stepped up to the table today and dropped in 15,000 meals to help feed people in South Florida. So every little bit helps, and we're hoping that you guys can also help support this cause. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to what we're trying to do. Again, my name, I got the button right today. My name is Barry Cunningham. I work with Accihelp, and what we do at Accihelp is basically work to help people who have been in car accidents, who have slip and fall or workman's comp claims, who need to have good medical treatment and competent, experienced, aggressive attorneys who can fight for the reimbursement and compensation and coverage that they need through an attorney. I know a lot of people may look at that and say, right now, do we really need to be going after these insurance companies? And absolutely, if you're entitled to something, if you were injured, if you weren't a person, we pay for this insurance. Yeah, I'm not going to go into PIP and everything else and what it is, but understand, we got the doctors. They're ready to help you. They're ready to treat you. And we have some pit bull attorneys who will get in there and fight for you for every last dime you're entitled to. And more than likely, it will not cost you a dime up front. Not a dime. All you've got to do is make a call. Give us a call at one of our numbers down below, 800-945-6001. All right, that's the extent of the pitch. I'm not going to go any further with pitching business. Now, like I said, what iRise has done and helped us out with the donation, want to go ahead and get more people to donate. 22,000 meals I'm calling that a start. I'm calling it a good start, but I'm also calling it a start nonetheless. So that's one of the big announcements I've had today. And I also want you to know that iRise isn't alone. If you look at our page here and see, we've had 6 other people thus far give donations. And so we're starting to see that trickle of individuals begin to help as well. And that's what's really going to put this thing over the top. The more individuals that we have that jump in, because you can spread that message on Facebook and tell another person and say, hey, listen, look what these people over here are doing. Look how they're making this work. They're helping people in South Florida. I want NBC to call me. I could see myself right now. I'm ready for my close-up. Bring it. I want to talk to someone at NBC or CBS. Let's go ahead and talk about what iRise just did. Let's talk about what we're doing here, how we're going to do this every single night until we raise 50,000 meals for people in South Florida. 50,000. 5-0. 5-0. However it looks on camera. 50,000. That's what we want to go for. So, as you know, let's segue. Oh, wait a minute. Another big announcement. We have 3 winners of $100 gift cards who are winning $100 simply because they liked our page and or made comments or shared one of the videos. $100 gift cards are going to... Hey, by the way, next week I'll have sound effects. One is going to Louis Bredesen. I think he's down in North Miami. Louis Bredesen, guess what, man? Thanks for watching and commenting, and you're picking up a $100 Visa gift card. I have to get in touch with you, Jen. If he comments, go ahead and see if you can get his mailing address, and we'll get everything set up for all 3 of these people. The other one is Eileen Phillips. Eileen Phillips, again, go ahead and leave a comment. Jen will probably follow up with you and get your address. And Eileen, thank you very, very, very much for participating. And the last person is Francesca Reyes. Francesca, again, please leave a comment. Jen will get your mailing address, and if she gets your mailing address, we'll get this out. Now, I'm challenging you guys. You're each getting $100 that just fell out of the sky. $100 just fell out of the sky just for you. Well, I want you to take 10 of it and put it back. Give back. It's Good Friday. It's Easter weekend. It's Passover weekend. And it doesn't really matter to me what religious affiliation you are. It's that time of year when people need to do some introspection. Get right with yourselves. Come on, cop up $10 and feed 100 meals to people in South Florida. You still got 90 left over. It's very simple. All you got to do is once you get the Visa gift card, just go on here, click the button, drop in $10. And if $10 is too much, go ahead and drop in 5 and feed 50 people. Can you do that? Can you please do that? And anyone who's watching, either now or on demand later, do the same. Pull out the credit card, hit the Facebook button, drop in whatever you can afford. If it's 1, 2, 3, or 100, think about the people here in South Florida who've been standing in lines all over the place trying to find food to eat. Meanwhile, I hear my wife opening the door for the delivery guy, and somebody just brought food to us. We live in a country where we can pick up the phone or pick up our laptops and click a few buttons and somebody brings food to us. What a country. But there are tons of people here in South Florida right now who don't have that opportunity. Just think about it, okay? So what we're going to do now is go to our daily look at the numbers here in South Florida. So let's take a look at that. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh the coronavirus. It's all over the news. And what we're doing here as I refresh is I'm going to look at what's going on. So far as of today, we have 419 deaths in a state of 21 million people. I'm not making light of the fact that we only have 419 deaths. I know that's just awful. I don't want people to think that I'm euphemizing and saying, hey, listen, it's only 419 dead. No, I'm not talking about that way. But I'm talking about the grand scope of things, where you've got 20 million people in this state. And we've had, 419 unfortunate deaths, if they're real. But I won't get started on that. So what I want to do is let's go through these numbers. So we've had almost 18,000 cases, 2,500 hospitalizations, 419 deaths in this state thus far. But again, look at the trend line. You got to be able to follow these trend lines. We've seemed to leveled off, and that's the thing they keep telling us to look for, right? They keep telling us to flatten the curve. Well, looking at that, you can see that curve is flat here in South Florida. It is held for, what was the peak? The peak was on April 3rd, and it's been down, down, down. So as you look at that curve, it went like this. It peaked, and now it's coming back this way. It's coming back this way. It's not going to be long before we get back to work. It's not going to be long before business is popping again. It's not going to be long before we understand the sacrifices so many people made, and some of these people gave what obviously is the ultimate sacrifice. That's a tough pill to swallow, and understanding exactly what we've been dealt, the card we've been dealt. But okay, so let's get back to this. And you know the drill here. You can look at the different cases on the side here and see for yourself, what the heck is going on. As I look at these counties and I see Dade has just become quite a nightmare with 6,300 cases. It's more densely populated, obviously, than some of the other counties. But you still look at Franklin and Glades and Gulf and Hamilton and Hardy, and you realize this is not a statewide problem, even though we all live in Florida. Hillsborough at 676. I'm here in Palm Beach, and Palm Beach has 1,400. But what we have to understand is that things are not as bad as they appear. There's no way we're going to hit 2 million deaths. It's not going to happen. There's no way we're going to hit million deaths. Out of the question. We may hit 100,000 as a nation. Florida, I don't think we'll hit 2,000. Maybe over the course of a year, but that's what they've been telling us. And as you can see, we're not getting anywhere near that. So let's look at the national numbers. And we look at the national numbers. Let me go ahead and refresh so I have the most accurate. And we have 500,000 cases, 18,000 deaths, and 27,000 people have indeed recovered. Tell me if you've seen anybody talk about the recovery numbers. Tell me if you've seen anybody discuss what those numbers are. Because we hear a lot about the deaths, but we don't hear a lot about recovery. We hear about people getting buried in a potter's field in New York City, which, by the way, was some more BS. That's where they've been burying indigents for 40, 50 years. I mean, talk about a morbid place. That entire island is nothing but a giant cemetery of lost souls who they've piled on top of each other for decades. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that place on Halloween. I don't think you do either. So let's look at these numbers some more. And I'm going to go to, not today, but I'm going to go at yesterday. And so we can get an accurate figure because it resets every night at midnight. So again, New York, 800 plus cases, deaths yesterday. New Jersey, 196, and you can see and so on. And here's Florida, 48 deaths. I have a question for you. Do you know how many people die normally each day in the state of Florida? Do you know how many people die each day normally in the state of New York? I mean, we've got 20 million people here. How many people do you think die with all of the retirees and elderly people we have here? How many people do you think die every single day? Every single day. I bet you we're still on track for what we normally are. I know in New York, they have an average 2,100 deaths per week. Or is it per week or every 2 weeks? Either way. So they're way above normal. But again, that classification is what they're talking about. Who knows if they're really appropriately counting these things. But in any event, what you're seeing here is very simple. It's just outside of a couple states, it's not nearly as bad as they've been telling us. Not nearly. Let me ask you a question. When you look at these numbers, and I don't care what level of math you're in, how are you going to get to 100,000? You're at 18. Things are starting to on a downslope, 18,000. I guess what I'm saying is I'm tired of the BS, and what I want you to do is to get ready to run. Start working out. Do whatever you need to do. Get ready, because when this thing turns around, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a Darwinist economy. And what I mean by that is there are going to be politicians who don't want to free you. There are going to be politicians who love the idea of capturing your individual rights as they have right now. And life as we know it, going into Joe's Stone Crab, going into, Yard House or certain restaurants is going to be very tough. They're going to make us stay 6 feet apart from each other. They're going to make us all wear, masks like we're contaminated still. When obviously that's not the case. But it's going to be much worse than that. But be ready to fight to get to where you want to get to. So that's where I see it going. And again, as I talked yesterday, let me go ahead and do a quick look at the stock market so you guys can see the numbers here. And if you look at the last 5 days, boom, we're still going up. So I talk a lot about trend lines here. I talk a lot about where things are going versus where they are. So if you saw on that first page that, the overall deaths in Florida are leveling out. And if you see that on these numbers, it's nowhere near going to be what they said it was. And then you see that the stock market is actually going up. It closed the week up. Thank God it recovered. So if all the signals show that things are on a upward swing, except for the deaths, obviously, be ready to go back to work. You're going to have to show your employer you have value. You're going to have to show your employer that you haven't been just sitting home doing nothing. It's going to be extremely competitive. People who were displaced from one office are going to look to go to another office because it's going to be, you remember that part in Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd when Trading Places, when everyone was in a free fall? Man, there's going to be some coveted positions out there. And I want you to be ready, because it's not going to be easy fighting through what the government's going to try to do versus, how they're going to try and restrict us from making our way back here. And I got a funny video. Well, it's not funny at all. This thing is just crazy. But I can't play the sound because there's so much profanity in it. But so I'll basically check this out. This guy went on a bus in Philadelphia. And he made the grave mistake. Oops, I'm going to turn that down because he's going to swear a whole lot. He made the grave mistake of getting on this bus without a face mask. And I mean, this thing is just, where are we? Is this Venezuela? Is this Cuba? Is this communist country? He had 10 cops just take this guy off the bus, rip him off the bus because he didn't have a friggin' face mask. Is that where we are as a country? Is that the country you want to live in? And the guy looks like LL Cool J and probably could have taken half those cops right there and then. But it's nuts, man. It's absolutely nuts. Wow. So anyway, be ready to do that. And, I know we've talked a lot about in the last 3 or 4 days about some of the stuff's been affecting South Florida and our contingent population down here who needs the help. But I want to tell you what we're going to be doing. Next week, I'm going to get some stuff back here. It'll make our set better. I've got a board coming, so I won't have to worry so much about looking down at the keyboard and hitting the right buttons and not, we're going to get set up and we're going to run a show. We're going to get call-ins. We're going to have guests. We're going to have the split screen with people talking like they do on TV. We're going to have a lot of fun. See, this wasn't designed to be a news show. But all we got is news right now. We're all stuck home doing nothing. The way this thing started was we ran a contest for free tickets to see Aventura at the AAA down in Miami. It blew up. It was amazing how much interaction and engagement we had about that. That's what we want to do. I want to send you guys to dinner. I want to send you guys to Disney World. I want to send you guys to see the concert of your choice. I want to get tickets to the Miami Heat that you can't get. I want Football is going to be coming back. All of these things is what this is designed for. It's designed to engage our community. And if you want to call us about, helping you out with a case because you got in a car accident, great. We'd love to help you. But first and foremost, this is about promoting South Florida, about promoting engagement and community and helping each other. So, I won't say it's unfortunate. I'm going to say it's fortunate that this stuff is going on and we're in a position to help other people in the community and to compel others to help in the community. We want you to engage. We want you to be able to say, hey, listen, I'm ready to help feed somebody in South Florida. God forbid it's you next time. But I just want you to know where we're headed. It's not going to be talking about COVID-19 over and over and over. I'm getting sick of it myself. We're ready to get out. We're ready to roll out the sleeves and get out there. My wife is going nuts. She wants to get to the beach. I mean, we live in South Florida to enjoy our lifestyle. And that's what we're going to want to promote. We're going to want to promote the lifestyle here in South Florida. So stick through this stuff right now. We have to. We're all in this together. Excuse me, I'm going to cough, but I don't have corona. What I do have is 4 days of talking for 30, 40 minutes at a time. And this isn't easy. I mean, give it a shot. Get in front of a camera and start talking and see what your voice does. When I get done here, I have to go drink tea just to settle down my vocal cords. I end up sounding like I have the Rona, but I don't. I'm strong. I'm big. I'm ready to rock, and I want you to rock with us. I want you to run with us. I want you to have a crap load of fun. We're going to surprise you with free gas cards. We're going to surprise you with free concert tickets. We're going to surprise you with free gift certificates at some of the best restaurants in South Florida. So stick with us and tell more people. That's all I got tonight. It's 8:03. I've hit my 30 minutes. You can tell my vocal cords are starting to be strained. I am so happy today. I mean, I can't tell you how happy I am that we were able to raise, through the help of iRise, 15,000 meals today. And it's something that I never thought I'd be able to do. I never thought that I could, make this kind of stuff happen. But here we are. We're at not just 15,000. We're already up to 22,000. We're on our way up I'm going for 50. And if I get to 50, I'm going to go for 100,000. But right now we're at 22 on Friday, Good Friday, April 10th. I want you all to think about what's going on in South Florida. Take some time, spend some time with your loved ones on this Passover weekend, on this Easter weekend. And we're anything but finished. And we're blessed. Have a good weekend. We'll see you Monday at 7:30 p.m. Ciao.